All right, good afternoon. So, I was so excited when I wrapped up season one about finishing season one um, that I failed to realize we have not quite finished season one. So, let's do that real quick and then we'll dive into season two, which is what I actually wanted to do today and what I was expecting to do at about this point in time. But we still have this final as ArenaNet tends to do, they'll have like a small instance where everyone kind of high fives and congratulates each other on achieving whatever it is that you achieved. And we didn't do that. So this is the actual end of season one here. Captain Ellen Keel, what is going on? Master of Peace, who is this guy? Let's see.
On
What is
behalf
this?
of the Captain's Council and this worthy assembly, welcome Zephyrites. I'm sorry Lion's Arch is still a work in progress, but key services have been restored and the Lion Guard are patrolling.
No need to apologize, Captain. We came to offer our support and to assure you our trade agreement remains intact. To start, we're donating a shipment of much-needed supplies, which we have staged here on the docks. We're also organizing a series of attractions, with a portion of the proceeds going to the Lion's Arch Relief Fund.
That's very kind, sir, and much appreciated. We should withdraw to the council chambers to discuss details. But first, let me introduce you to some of the heroes who prevented the total destruction of our city.
Oh, pointed right at me. Awkward.
I present to you the team of Casimir Mead, Marjorie Delacroix, Bram Erson, Rox, and Timey, I believe?
That's right! Timey and Scruffy. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Important Zephyrite. I would love a chance to inspect.
Smile and wave, Timey. Just smile and wave. Please?
Along with their leader, these brave people have been the city's staunchest and most effective volunteer defenders. They brought down Scarlet Briar once and for all, and they did so at considerable cost to themselves.
I am honored to meet you all. In the face of such barbarity, the cause of peace requires formidable defenders. I hope you all enjoy the diversions at Labyrinthine Cliffs. I understand there are also amusements in Divinity's Reach.
Aye. Queen Jenna has generously reopened the Crown Pavilion and is also donating the proceeds to Lion's Arch.
Splendid. We have arranged for transport between the cliffs and the human capital for whoever desires it.
Can we just go straight to Divinity's Reach? Scarlet pretty much ruined the Crown Pavilion for me last time.
By all means, experience the attractions in any order you choose. Heroes at a festival definitely help draw a crowd.
Hear, hear. The Council appreciates your participation and the positive impact it creates. Enjoy the festival.
Okay, so there we go. Now we have wrapped up season one, which, as noted, with all the things here, which I should have recognized that these things weren't happening.
It has to be personal. I wish you let me help you pick one out. Otherwise, you're gonna get injured again. Once misfortune finds you, it doesn't just go away. You have to counter it.
Wolf's tail, is this what they mean by being mothered? I'm suddenly glad mine was never around.
Jeez.
Somebody's in a sour mood. But I know a cure for crankiness. Bashing things to benefit Lion's Arch.
I like the Zephyrites. And I like seeing your face healed.
I appreciate the concern, but please, enough with the fretting about my face.
It was a lot more than a cosmetic injury, and you know it. I thought you were dead. Never scare me like that again.
Ugh.
So, do I get to come along this time? Or are you going to sideline me in some camp again?
Nobody sidelined you. With all the miasma and aether blades and whatnot, we were trying to get people out, not bring them in.
You should have known better. I followed Scarlet's progress for months. Did you really think I'd miss her big finish?
Be glad you did. Some of us were there and still didn't get to see it through.
That's because I wasn't there. Let that be a lesson to you. Never make a move without Timey and Scruffy.
Yeah, I'll think about that. Anyway, I'm off to the Divinity's Reach attractions. I'll see you around, kid.
Alright. Bye, Rox. Bye, Bram.
going to the festival? Bram said I could go.
Did he now? From what I've heard, you have a slight problem with the truth where Bram is concerned.
Jory, be nice. Of course you can go. Miss Delacroix is naturally suspicious. Pay her no mind.
Oh, I won't. But Bram wants to go see Divinity's Reach, and I'd rather see Zephyrite stuff. Can I go with you?
Where are your actual legal guardians? Didn't Progeny Protective Services assign someone to you?
They know where I am, obviously. But let's just say I released myself on my own reconnaissance.
That's reconnaissance, Timey. Reconnaissance is something you do before conducting a military operation. Alright, so we've wrapped this up here. Season 1 now actually done. Like I said, we got the big pop-up thing, cross swords, the story journal thing, the whole shebang. I should have noticed before when I didn't get it that I was not actually done with Season 1, but now we are actually done with Season 1. Alright, so disaster struck. I don't know what was going on with my microphone. I've unfortunately, when I bought this headset, which is a good headset, I like the headset overall, but when I bought it from Micro Center, I got I had bad luck. I got kind of a bad set. The connection between the actual microphone and the rest of the headset, because it's a detachable mic, is not very good. And as a result, occasionally it goes on the fritz, and it just so happened to go on the fritz when I was in the middle of recording the first instance of Season 2. So that means I'm gonna have to re-record all that, because for most of it my voice wasn't audible. When it was audible, it was distorted and it just everything bad. So you can replay the instances, but not until you finish that portion. So in other words, I can't Living World Season 2. I can't replay until I finish Gates and Maguuma. I can't replay any one instance within Gates and Maguuma. I tried. I can't. So we are going to replay Gates and Maguuma, and we're going to do that on our 0-0 character here. Kind of unfortunate, because I was trying to do the story playthrough with one character and just maintain that continuity. But it's not like I'm role-playing it or anything, so it's not a huge disaster. We'll just run through on our Reaper real quick and take care of this story instance. Oh man, that's the guy who was down last time I was here. I wonder how long that tune's been standing there. So to go over kind of the same things that we went over before starting last time, because I want to make sure it's in the video and it's kind of understood. So when Season 1 wrapped up, yes, we killed Scarlet, but right about here in Sanctum Harbor, the giant drill where we fought her in her bridge or deck or whatever it is, the main area of her big giant drill thing, and that's where we killed her. But her death triggers, or whether it was her death or not that triggers it, the drill actually crashes down into the harbor and successfully digs into the ocean bed or whatever below the harbor here. I guess technically it's ocean bed, right? Because it's all ultimately part of the ocean. And so the question is, has that resulted in some sort of catastrophe? And it seems to have. It seems to have resulted in a catastrophe, because we get that cutscene where there's there's a we see the dragon's teeth bared, and the dragon is somehow. Why am I rezzing this guy when he's been AFK here for a long time and he's just gonna get killed by these things again? Why would I do that? And really, this sets the table for what is going to be the Guild Wars 2 story for a long time, because we killed Zaitan, but Zaitan was one of 6 Elder Dragons. So that means there's 5 more hanging out, and that's going to dominate 10 years essentially of Guild Wars 2 story, which some folks didn't love, but that's the Guild Wars 2 story. That was that was the main plot line. If it's one thing to say, oh, somebody did or did not, do a good job of telling the story, but if you just don't like the story at all, Like, you know, when I was recording this before, I was talking about like Game of Thrones. If you're not interested in a fantasy world where people are like competing for power and for positions of power like monarchies and stuff, then maybe Game of Thrones just isn't for you. If you're not interested in like science fiction, with like kind of political commentary undertones about you know, a desert planet where they harvest a resource that the entire universe relies on, and like they vie for power there, then you probably shouldn't do the whole Dune thing. Like, just don't do it. Watch Star Wars instead or something. Like, you know, I don't know. But like, if the very core of the storyline isn't your thing, then it's not your thing, and you shouldn't like Guild Wars 2 is never going to be Star Citizen. Like, I don't know, man. But
Tonight, I'll
yeah,
take a
the
walk
dragons
through
are
this
they're going to be the whole thing for a long
Listen
time.
here, Mother Hen. You can stop fussing. I'm fine. My ribs barely hurt anymore.
You ready? Let's join the others, shall we?
So they are going to, like, the whole like Bram and Marjorie being injured, like, they are going to make reference to that a number of times in season 2
How about we ask?
until they're like finally
Look,
healed or
there's
whatever.
the others.
They'll eventually get over
We'll
that.
wait here for them, then go in. How's your leg, Bram?
Yeah, Bram, how's that leg?
Keep from it. I got through those vines just fine.
You
Good-
worry
good
about
for you.
him too much. He's tough.
I never said he wasn't.
You thought it.
What?
Nothing.
I want to talk to that Seraph and find out what's going on around here.
There's like a very real possibility that I'd get real unhappy with Tommy. Again, her voice actor's fantastic, but I would not want to like hang out with Tommy. That would be a bit more than I can handle.
Excuse me, Corporal. Looks like you've got a problem on your hands.
You might say so. We need to get through those vines, but they're impassable.
How about we give you a hand?
That'd be great. We're a small
Talking about these
expedition
vines.
squad.
What are you doing so far from the beach?
We're tracking black market traders that came this way. We suspect they may have a secret ingress past this mess.
Well, let's see if we can help you clear a path.
Your help would be greatly appreciated, ma'am. Delacroix, come over here.
Hey, look who it is.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll be damned. Hey, sis.
I thought maybe this was your squad.
You're related?
Yes, sir. What are you doing here, Margie?
We heard a rumor there were strange goings-on in this area. We came to investigate.
As if taking on Scarlet wasn't enough excitement to last a lifetime. Let's talk. We've got some information about what's happening around here.
You should know I'm not all
Inquest! Timey, get in your
Oh
car.
no, Inquest.
story.
Kaz, that's my line.
What are Inquest doing here?
They're like rats. They show up everywhere there's death.
You guys go left. Kaz and I will go right.
We need to hold them back here. Our outpost can't withstand an all-out attack.
So ArenaNet, I think, really likes Inquest as a villain, and I think the way they kind of like wrote the Inquest in terms of the kind of the Inquest philosophy and the fact that Inquest are not bound by like any one motivating factor or one force, you know, the way like Sons of Svanir or something are, makes them super flexible, right? So there's a lot of opportunity to use them in a lot of different ways in the story, whereas again, like Sons of Svanir, like the real opposite, you really can only use them if you're trying to tell a story about Jormak, right? If your story is anything else other than Jormak related, then they're gonna kind of stand out and be a little weird. And even like even like Flame Legion, yes, we saw the Dredge Flame Legion thing with Scarlet, but like that always felt out of place, didn't it? It felt weird. I did not think that was like a stroke of genius on the part of ArenaNet, and because really Flame Legion are like exclusively motivated by Char internal issues, right? So like, what was their, you know, why was, you know, I don't recall. And thing is, I know it's addressed in season 1, and I've like already forgotten it. I think it has to do with them trying to acquire like dredge technology, is why they they work together with the Dredge, kind of at Scarlet's prodding. But ultimately, like that all feels like a stretch, right? Whereas with the Inquest, like almost nothing feels like a stretch if you just tie it into them like advancing their technological capabilities and advancing their thirst for knowledge and so forth. So they're super flexible in terms of storytelling, and I think probably that's why we see them a lot in various Living World seasons, without them ever really being the dominant thing, aside from like one chapter where they are kind of the dominant thing.
Lethal combination. I like it.
How did that miss? Ah.
I am death's target.
Alright, how are we looking on these barricades? 1, 2, 3. Alright, perfect. Ooh. Big old snowball coming up the road. Scary stuff. There we go. Oh, 4. Is it? Oh, it is 4. Okay, cool. I think they only need to build 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. Come down here and help out Casimir. Poor Casimir. Doing the best she can. So I assume, like, Casimir... So obviously she's a Mesmer, right? But, she's very useful. And we'll actually see that very soon. She's very useful in the story. But does not seem like... dealing damage is not her thing. And I don't think they make any effort to, like, give the impression that it's her thing. I don't think that's what they're trying to achieve with Casimir. And really, interestingly, not... I can't think of an NPC that they portray, maybe Ritlock, but where they really portray as, like, being, like, powerful in that capacity. Like, some of the NPCs, and we'll get to this, like, Season 3, Season 4, they make absurdly powerful in, like, weird ways, but... Oh, not golems. Oh, no. So there's some NPCs they make, like, really, like, super powerful, like, in weird ways, but I can't think of an NPC until Season 4 that they make, like, just plain, like, crazy powerful. In terms of, like, directly dealing damage, like, like Zerker gear, DPS type stuff. Now, in Season 4, there is one, but it's important to note that, and yeah, we'll get to this when we get to it, obviously, but she starts out as an adversary, and thus, it would make sense to, like, you wouldn't remove all of her capabilities once she stops being an adversary, right? Like, she was a formidable foe, so in theory, she maintains at least some of that. In theory.
That was exciting. It's been a while since I've seen you in action. You've improved.
I've been getting
Aw.
lots of
Aw, shucks.
Looks like we've almost got those vines out of the way. You coming through with us?
Yeah, we want to see what's on the other side. You don't mind, do you?
If you come with us? Great gods, no. I don't get to spend enough time with you.
Let's see if you still feel that way after a few days of being around us.
Us. Why are we a crew? Why? How does that happen?
Delacroix, I have a mission for you. I need you to run back to Fort Salma and give them an update. Oversee getting soldiers posted here to keep these vines back. I don't want our retreat cut off just in case.
Yes, Corporal. I'll grab my gear and go.
I knew I could rely on you. Double time, Seraph.
Yes, Corporal.
Well, start double timing, I guess, Belinda. So, like, what is her rank? He's a corporal?
okay.
He's in charge of this? That's a really low rank.
I'm sorry I can't go with you. Promise you'll stop by Fort Salma on your way home and let me know how things went?
I will. Send Mama word that you saw me, will you? So she worries a little less.
Okay. I'd better get going. Take care of yourself, okay? Love you, sis.
Always. You too.
Belinda, it was good seeing you again.
Aw, same here. Goodbye.
Alright. Alright. Well, bye, Belinda. Okay, so our allies have things that we can discuss with them if we choose to. Let's talk with Belinda. Much rather be... Well, we would rather that, too. Like, we would rather Belinda be with us. We all want to see what's on the other side of the wall. Like, my family is not known for adventuring beyond Shaymore. Now, so I'm not sure why that's, like, specifically, like, mentioned here. Unless it's to really give us, like, perspective on Marjorie more than Belinda. And, like, how different Marjorie is from maybe, you know, other people in her family or whatever. Watch out for Margie. She's always been my favorite. Don't tell my other sisters. So we never really, like this, I hope to meet the rest of your family. Like we never really get that. Not to spoil, like, future things, but... There's a lot here about, you know, my mother doesn't like strangers, and so now we're going to go on this thing. Oh, done so amazing, you flatter me. And then when we get to, you know, Marjorie and Casimir will talk more about it too. The whole thing with Casimir being like a noble, and Marjorie and Casimir being together, and how does the family feel about it. Like, all that business. Oh, E. Yeah, E. We don't... We that never, like, necessarily like fleshes out in a way to where we understand a lot about it, you know. It's almost as if she didn't want to know me because you're a noble. Not sure. She's not the first commenter to be shy around me. My noble bringing, you know, I'm not sure if my noble bringing bothers her. Like, and then we can keep going here, and you know, the whole dialogue about, you know, like I don't care about the, like this, you know, I don't need the class warfare nonsense. Okay, we know they have a lab nearby. Like, the Inquest have lots of labs nearby. Okay, we're ready to explore beyond the ridge. So of note, and unfortunately I just had to play through this instance twice. I didn't really want to do that. I talked about this a lot more the first time through, but I was under the impression when Marjorie introduces Belinda to Casimir in Season 1 that was weird, and it was something that maybe they added later, because I thought that introduction was made here. It appears that that's not the case. There is no formal introduction where Marjorie says, hey, Belinda, this is Casimir. So maybe that was always the case, that in Season 1, Marjorie introduces Belinda to Casimir. It appears that I was wrong when I thought otherwise, because that, you know, like, the dialogue here works and makes sense. And then E, like, this business about E, like, it became, like, an annoying thing even at the time, and now playing through again and, like, looking back, it hasn't aged any better. Like, it's still ridiculous, just like it always was ridiculous. I'm really firmly of the belief that it was never really more than, like, just a machine for, you know, or a vehicle for exposition. Okay, so now we're going to go... Now we got the vines cleared, so we can go into Dry Top. So before we do, let's note that at the time that Season 2 came out, so we finished Season 1. Season 1 was cool, but Season 1 happened here. Season 1 happened in Quarteria. The only new map that we got in Season 1 was South Sun Cove. And, like, literally, South Sun Cove is like there's just... I talked about this in a previous video. There's one meta event. There's, like, events that happen, like, at each key point. And Now there was more to do there when it was like brand new content. There was like it was kind of a thing, but it very quickly became a dead map. It doesn't really serve any sort of role within, it's never hardly, I think, one other time in the entire story like it's relevant in any way whatsoever. That was a side story. That wasn't even part of the main Guild Wars 2 story. So, like, we had not gotten, yes, we had gotten one map, but up till the point that we entered Drytop, we had never gotten a map that was actually, like, relevant and useful and interesting. And so when we step into Drytop for the first time, very first time I ever saw this loading screen, this was really, really exciting. This was amazing. This is all really important, too, to the story. This wreckage here of, like, these bamboo crafted vessels, and they're burning, and we see these people, and they're distraught. So remember, when Season 1 wrapped up, we were entering another Labyrinthine Cliffs event, and, like, that was exciting, and, a lot of people really kind of enjoyed that event. And so that's why we see, and this is all tied to the Zephyrites. These smashed vessels here, these airships, these were the Zephyrites who were supposed to be on their way to Lion's Arch to, like, to engage in trade and to help us recover from Lion's Arch being destroyed by Scarlet Briar. This is what became of their fleet. It was destroyed here over this area. And some of the mechanisms that we associate with the Labyrinthine Cliffs, such as these gems, which give you, like, these little skills, are here because all of this is, like, built around that whole piece with the Zephyrites. So, and it's not exclusively, like, just for map design and stuff. This is gonna be important to the story as well. What's up, dude? Nothing left but ruin and wreckage. Yeah. What happened here? The main section of our ship fell into the valley through that gap to the northwest. Be wary of those deadly vines sprouting up. Well, yeah. But we traveled. Yeah, because, past tense, because your ship is, destroyed. The world in ships held aloft by the aspects of wind, sun, and lightning, seeking sanctum from the violence of life on land. Yeah, so they are they have, like, this very lofty philosophy, the Zephyrites. And they are, we'll learn more about that later, but, it might be a tiny bit of a spoiler, but, like, it's very relevant. They're kind of acolytes of Glint, so they worship Glint and, like, or if not worship, at least adhere to a philosophy derived from Glint. Why did the ships crash? Not sure. Oh, did I already ask that? I did already ask that. Do you need help? My body will heal, even if my spirit needs longer to recover. Well, bummer, dude. So this map's also worth noting. Like, we got to get over to a certain spot, and, like, there's this verticality to it, which at the time was, like, a pretty novel thing, because core maps were not, like, super vertical. This all predates gliding and, like, flying mounts and stuff like that. It predates them by, well, it predates gliding by a little bit. It predates, mounts by a significant amount. So, this was, these things were how you had to navigate the map when this map came out. Grabbing Bunny here was, like, not an option, right? Or Skyscale, or whatever the case may be. Alright, Cerulean. Ship came down just to the north of here. We were torn from the sky and strewn across this valley. Were there other flying ships? Yes, but we don't know. We don't know what happened to them. Heck, man. They could be anywhere. Who knows? Alright, so here's, like, wreckage from the ship, right? Aura. What's going on, Aura? Yeah, spiritual balance. Not going to be easy. Good luck with that. Lucent?
The sun must set before it can rise.
Not sure I have it left in me to fight for survival. Well, you sound more bitter than your fellow. Is that okay? Like, doesn't he have the right to be a little bitter? Like, Taking everything into consideration. Oh, there we go. My lover brought me into the Zephyrite community. Now that she's been taken from me, I'm lost. Well, you know, I'm sure there's a lesson to be learned there. Alright, let's find out what's going on here. Let's do this next instance, kind of find out some more.
That structure is unstable. It would be unwise for us to go in. Scruffy's scan confirms that it won't support all our weight. According to my calculations, the most efficient combination would be you, Marjorie, and Casimir. The rest of us can wait out here.
Did she just call us fat, Bram?
Yep, she sure did.
Facts are facts. The three of us together weigh as much as 19 Casimirs.
Great. I'm a unit of measurement.
Lead on, boss. Kaz and I are with you. We'll holler for the rest of you if we need something smashed.
Alright, so let's find out what's going on here. Let's enter the crash site. Ah, thanks, Casimir. So Casimir's portals obviously work different than any other Mesmer in the game,
I'll cast.
which
Something
annoys some people, and I understand why.
I can't form a portal. Something here is blocking me.
Something here is blocking. You want to help us out, Marjorie?
I've collected some of the Zephyrite crystals.
Good thinking. Wish I had thought of that.
Smash that inquest thing so we can catch up.
Smash the inquest thing. Ooh. Claudie, not happy about the situation.
Halt, intruders. This area falls under inquest jurisdiction. You are trespassing. Ergo, be gone, or we'll have no choice but to oust you.
Look, we're just trying to help these poor crash victims and find out what happened. Do you know anything about the crash?
All we know is that whatever lands in our territory is ours to salvage. Let us show you just how serious we are about this.
Wow. Like, zero willingness to have a conversation or compromise, huh, Claudie? You remind me of someone. Someone that I know. Alright, problem solved with Claudie. So I do wish, like most players, I assume.
If that's how you want to... I guess we showed them. Still think I'm not ready for battle?
Listen, I'm sorry about
Take it
how I
easy,
did that.
Marjorie.
I just can't stand the thought of you getting hurt again. That scared the fluff out of me.
The fluff.
I know, honey. I felt the same way about you. But you convinced me that you can handle yourself. Now let me convince you.
All right.
So I do wish, like a lot, I think a lot of players
Get
wish
through that gap with a
that
lightning cutter. Try this crystal.
that like NPCs adhere to the same rules that we adhere to, right?
Please keep it
So
than usual.
that there we go. So like Casimir's portals work the same way that the player's portals do, but of course they don't need to balance NPCs for PvP, right? Or for like end game PvE encounters and stuff like that. Are you guys running laps? Like, or what's happening here? You want to join the rest of the team? The rest of the team being me and my dog, apparently. All right, cool. So I get it. I think there's a world where they could like figure it out and not have NPCs do like crazy stupid things. Yeah, I think probably that's not really like that big of an ask. When all was said and done, I don't think it's a lot to ask. However, I also don't think it's likely to happen because allowing, Casimir or Queen Jenna or Timey to kind of have like almost like supernatural or, to have powers and capabilities that exceed what the player has makes storytelling much easier. Because now when you encounter a problem in the story, instead of like trying to come up with a creative solution to it, you can just make Timey the solution to it. So it's, depending on how cynical you are, it's either a necessity of like MMORPG story writing, or it's a result of lazy MMORPG story writing. You can go either way on it, and I'm not gonna. I will agree with you
This one's alive.
either way.
It hurt badly.
You're going to be okay. My friends and I will get you out of here.
Forget about me. The Master of Peace is in danger. Someone has to go find him and protect him.
The Master of Peace. Your leader. Where is he? Why is he in danger?
I don't know why. But the Sylvari is trying to kill him. Please.
Hey, stay with me. Oh, damn. She's dead.
When I die, that's how I want to go. I want to stand up and then
But
fall
that
over dead.
Zephyrite was lying.
About what?
Don't get me wrong. She was very afraid for the Master of Peace, but when she said she didn't know why he was in danger, I could tell. She wasn't lying.
Why would she lie? Are you sure?
Absolutely. It was in her posture and in her eyes. She didn't give us the whole truth.
I believe you. Let's press on and see if we can find any more answers.
Alright. So that is in a sense going to become relevant later. Because the Zephyrites are or mourning there, I believe her name was, like, is kind of keeping something from us there. Come on, man, get up there.
Time to do some real damage.
Oh, yeah, I gotta kill these guys first. Annoying.
Feel the fury.
Alright. Ooh, good portal. I'm impressed. What is happening to our world? Valid question. Okay, so these guys died before the crash. So, what? Like, the commander's like a forensic scientist now? Alright. An accomplished saboteur, then.
Dead.
Okay.
They're breaking my heart.
A friend pointed out to me that these people weren't killed in the crash. They were dead beforehand.
What?
Dark.
Murder.
These guys are going to get in the way anyway, so we're just going to kill them now. Okay. What do we got going on over here? So now we got 3 areas where we're going to look for clues. Clues to our mystery here.
Feel the fury.
Alright. Page torn from a missing log. A single phrase scrawled across it. I turn my back on you, mother. My solo voice of truth will dampen the cacophony of fools. Aaron. Alright. Aaron. Aaron, what's this all about? Margie?
You're my lucky charm.
It reads like a meditation scrawled on a page from someone's personal logbook. So, yeah, so the soundless are a thing. And I think you get a little bit more of that, like, in the Sylvari story. At least, like, they're introduced. Then you can encounter some, like, in the open world in Caledon Forest. But we don't get a ton. Like, that's never really been, like, super developed. But, interesting thing here where it's, they turn away from the Pale Tree. Yes, so did the Nightmare Court. Unlike the Nightmare Court, they're not inherently evil. Well, and now we've gone from maybe to yes, definitely Sylvari. Okay.
So our Sylvari is soundless.
What, do we know that for sure?
You sound downright excited.
The plot thickens, my dear. Of course I'm excited.
And so is the Nightmare Court inherently evil? I mean, that's kind of a bit. It's a bit much, isn't it? And I don't know that I agree that the Nightmare Corps are inherently evil. If we're going to say that the Nightmare Corps are inherently evil, that says a lot about like a lot of very interesting like there. If you extrapolate on that, it takes you in some interesting directions. I don't think the Nightmare Corps are inherently evil at all. Very sympathetic to the Nightmare Corps, but obviously their methodologies are not appropriate, right? And that's what makes them bad guys.
No fury. If that's
Their philosophy is sound, actually. No, let me look at the thing. It was blast, scorch, and explosion. Right there again. CSI over here. What do you think,
guys, look
CSI Marjorie?
Oh, how are you?
Can you two like not be the same person so I
Pleasant to
can?
see you.
You're my lucky charm.
All right, cool.
Some of this
There we
wreckage
go.
isn't fresh. These burn marks are old. It's as if they've been attacked before the crash.
Anything to say to that, Marjorie?
Hello, good looking.
No. All right. Hey, how about not harassing me? How about that, Marjorie? Just thought. It's 2023. Jeez. All right. Oh no, inquest.
Feel the fury.
You're in between me and my clue, Inquest Grenadier. Which apparently is a death sentence.
What
Alright.
business?
This Zephyrite is armed and powerful as some sort of elite guard. There's blast powder and scorching on her body. Wow.
Does it have to be another Solvari?
I don't know, but his actions are not random. He was after something or someone specific.
The Master of Peace? Is he on the run? Is the assassin after him?
I think so, yes. We have to find him before the assassin does. Do you think we can track them?
Do I? Are you asking me? Yeah, I'm a ranger. I can track him. Yeah. I doubt the Masterpiece knows this area any better than we do. Another assumption, kind of like the soundless thing, but okay, you're the detective. If you were him and being pursued, where would you go? Closest town? Yeah, was that? Okay. We should head to that town. Right? Where is it? It's kind of hiding behind the wreckage. Right there. Okay. Let's do it then. Now, important note. I'll go. You type the investigation. You don't mind going by yourself? I'll take Rock, Spram, and Timey, who presumably are here with us. We just haven't seen them.
Sorry? I was hoping we'd have a break from the death and destruction once Scarlet was gone.
Unfortunately, I believe Scarlet was just the tip of a very large, very deep iceberg.
Ooh, scary. So we're headed to the town. Now, I want to note something real quick before we wrap up here about the town, right? Let's run down there. Let's run down there. Oh, where did it move us? Oh, it moved us back to this like little. That's okay. We can use our mouse now. Let's do this. There we go. See the town? Something does not look right about the town. Well, for two reasons. One, because there's an event taking place there. But two, even if there was not. So, when they rolled out Dry Top, they rolled it out a little bit at a time. And then they updated it and gave us more of the map as the story advanced in real time. So even though it was very much no longer the Season 1 model, it still had a little bit of Season 1 to it. And now we're seeing this design philosophy come back. We're seeing it all over again in 2023 in Guyala Delves. And we saw it with a couple of the Icebreed Saga maps as well. So this is not a new thing. What is of note here, and we're not going to go into this next instance right now, but I do want to note it because we're standing here in the villages. Look at this village, which is trashed by all these vines and stuff. When we go into this instance, I don't believe it will be, and it shouldn't be, because when we first encountered this village, it wasn't. It was much like this, but without all these vines, And then as the events of the season unfolded, they added the vines. So when we go into our instance here, we should not be seeing all these vines. It'll be a bit more normal for a village because, like, who would live here, right? And, like, presumably no one does. Also, like, when we get into the story, this door is going to be closed, so we're not going to know what's in there. We can kind of see in there now, but looks like yeah, so someone's going through there. Like, when this was a brand new thing, are they just going into the instance that we're about to go to? We had, this is a closed door, and you'd like run into it as if it was a wall, like that right there. It was only as the story advanced that it became open when we got to the part of the story where it's open. For us right now in the story, it is not open. And the playable area is pretty much what's unlocked here. Prospect Valley was the playable area when Dry Top was introduced, and it was the only area that we had. The rest was just was inaccessible and covered up. At the time, super cool, because we hadn't got anything like that before. It's not a.
You'll be feeling that one for days.
It's not something that I enjoy anymore. I don't really want to do this event just to fail. Was there like one other person here? Yeah, I mean it's not really fun.
You dare interfere?
There's a couple. Maybe we'll give it a try, I guess. These days I'd prefer, so like Season 3 and Season 4, we just got maps. And I know not everyone loves it. Not everyone, I didn't think Season 3 or Season 4 were very good in terms of storytelling. But some people seem to, for whatever reason, feel like Season 3 and Season 4 gave us bad maps. I don't feel that's the case at all. Some of them are limited in their replayability. So people will point to like Ember Bay as a map that's like, that generally most folks do not go back to once they're done there. One, I think that's kind of okay. I also don't go back to Iron Marches that often. It doesn't mean that Iron Marches is a bad map. It's a solid core map. It just means that... don't you guys know how to do this with the 2 crystal thing? Get with the program, losers. It just means that I don't necessarily go back there often. I go back there with alts, and I go back, for very specific reasons. We will go back there for Season 2 later on. Again, not to create a huge spoiler, but we will go back to Iron Marches in the future.
You're in our way.
Mustn't leave this
I am, in fact, in your way. Yeah, that's probably true.
Excelsior!
I feel good.
All right, well, there's no reason for everyone to watch me do this event because it's not that good of an event. It is my daughter's like favorite event in the game, though. Interestingly, she just loves this event. I think it's the throwing the crystals thing that she just like really gets into, I guess. But yeah, she loves this event.
I could outrun a centaur.
I'm distracting now. I'm into throwing the crystals. So let's move on here. Let's talk about what we accomplished today. So we began Season 2, which goes from... we know that... We successfully killed Scarlet in Season 1, but we know that something happened with the Breachmaker, and now we get word that weird things are happening in Brisbane Wildlands. We go to investigate. We find the Inquest engaged in shenanigans, and that leads us into Dry Top. We also discovered that, in addition to the Inquest, something else, and more significant, the Zephyrite fleet was downed, was destroyed, and that's what we see, like, all this wreckage up here, and then some other, like, belongings and knickknacks, like, hanging off here and stuff. And it was downed by design by a saboteur who attacked the fleet and took it all down, and that's everything that's going on here. And the Master of Peace apparently is on the run. So when we pick it up next time, we're going to be investigating a Sylvari saboteur of the Zephyrite fleet and what the tie is to some of this crazy stuff that we're seeing, which, again, for this part of the story, we're not seeing this yet. But we did see the vines in Brisbane Wildlands. So is there a tie between these wild, crazy vines in Brisbane Wildlands and the sabotage of the Zephyrite fleet and kind of these two kind of simultaneous things that we have happening side by side? We will find out next time we pick it up. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, though, because after Season 1, I'm going to try and start getting these videos back down to a more manageable length, because Season 1 had some really stupid long videos. So we'll try and get to that point. All right, thank you, and hope you have a go.